Congratulations, graduates. What an honor and privilege it is for me to be here celebrating you, each and every one of you, on this momentous day. It's a precious time when we can finally celebrate your work, your sacrifices, and your accomplishments, everything that brought you to this particular point here and now. And today I know the feelings that are going on in your body and in your mind are both exciting and daunting, both overwhelming and exhilarating, real and surreal. I know that it's a day that seemed so far away when you first started, and here it is, right now, at this particular moment. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the fact that you all are graduating during uncertain times. We've lived through 2.5 years of a crippling pandemic that has lost 1 million lives in the United States. A shooting this weekend in Buffalo, New York, that has demonstrated how pervasive hatred and racism are in our society. The potential overturning of Roe versus Wade and Russia's attack on Ukraine. These are definitely uncertain times. And yet, graduates, this is exactly why being here today, celebrating each and every one of you, is such a privilege and such a gift. It's because in these uncertain times, your graduation is a sparkling, powerful, glittering light, a beacon in the wilderness of chaos. Graduates, remember what brought you to this point today. It was your relentless and resilient spirit. It was your hard work and focus and your desire to become the person you set out to be. Continue to shine even brighter and even more powerfully in these uncertain times, because you've got this, and we know you've got this. On behalf of the Peralta Community College Board of Trustees, and with utmost admiration and adulation, we congratulate you, class of 2022. Congratulations.
Hello, Peralta community. I am Dr. Jeanette Jackson, and I'm proud to serve as the interim chancellor of the Peralta Community College District. On behalf of the district and the Board of Trustees, it is my absolute honor to congratulate you, the members of the class of 22, on your graduation achievements. You are why the employees of the district come to work every day, to help you on your journey by supporting you through the educational process. So I want to acknowledge our district employees, the faculty, the classified professionals, and the administrators who work so hard to help you get here. No journey is taken alone. It takes a village, and you will always be part of the Peralta family. Graduation is also a time for reflection. Being a student in the time of COVID, well, that was tough, but you are tough. It takes special character to do what you have done, to stay focused on your studies, to stay committed to learning, and to graduate, even when the world around you may have felt like it was falling apart. I am reminded of the myth of the phoenix. According to legend, the phoenix was a bird that did not lay eggs, but rather would burst into flames, emerging from the ashes as a beautiful new creature. It is a symbol of renewal and of regeneration. I believe you are emerging from the studies of the Peralta colleges like a brilliant new being, a phoenix, ready to take on the world. And I am so proud of you. I leave you with a poem I received from a friend upon my own graduation, and that I keep as a reminder of the vagaries of life, its ups and downs. The author is unknown, and it is entitled The Perseverance Poem, and some of you may have heard it before. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but do not quit. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt, and you can never tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things go wrong that you must not quit. To the class of 2022, you have shown unbelievable resilience and perseverance just to get here. And while graduation is an important milestone, I'm really excited about your future. I know you're going to rise like a phoenix, no matter what happens, and you will soar. You already have. So congratulations again to each and every one of you, the class of 2022, and thank you.
Hello, esteemed colleagues, distinguished guests, and graduating scholars. My name is Marissa Nakano, and I have the honor of speaking today as a Senator Representative for College of Alameda's Academic Senate. Today is the best day of the year. It's graduation day. It is a day when we have the honor to recognize you, the graduates, for the hard work and effort you put into finishing this monumental and life-changing milestone, graduating from college. As faculty, we know you faced many challenges, to put it lightly. We know there were times when you wanted to stop and quit. We know there are responsibilities outside of college that made it incredibly difficult to continue. We know there are negative messages in your life that communicated that you were not college material or you're not smart enough to go to college. Nevertheless, every day you continue to choose your education because you are resilient and motivated. Whether it was to pursue a better life for you and your loved ones or your community, your resilience and motivation has brought you to this point of greatness. Additionally, and to many of you, this may come as a surprise, but we see you as a role model. We see you as our motivation and inspiration to continue our calling as faculty at College of Alameda. We've had the privilege of seeing you grow and develop in our classes and our counseling sessions. You've shared your stories and experiences with us and let us become part of your lives. I think many faculty would agree with me when I say this. We learned just as much from you as we hope you learned from us. For this, we are humbled and grateful to be your supporters at College of Alameda. As you close this chapter of your journey, we wish you well on the next adventure that lies ahead. On behalf of the Academic Senate, I would like to say congratulations and well done, College of Alameda, class of 2022.
Greetings to the Board of Trustees, Chancellor Jackson, President Jones, administrators, graduates, and guests. Graduates, today we celebrate you and all that you've accomplished and that you persevered in your pursuit of academic excellence. This is an indicator that you can accomplish anything. I, along with my fellow classified professionals, wish you continued success in all your future endeavors. Congratulations, class of 2022.
Peace and greetings, President Jones, Board of Trustees, faculty and staff, families, and of course, the College of Alameda graduating class of 2022. It is an honor to be here sharing in this very special and important milestone celebration with you. I'm Dr. G.T. Reyes, professor at CSU East Bay and community member living uninvited and unceded Huichin, otherwise known as Oakland. My mother is Erlinda Tiglao Reyes of the Taga-Ilogs and Kapampangans of Luzon, Philippines. My father is Fernando Palugod Reyes, also of the Taga-Ilogs from Luzon, Philippines. Like many other Filipinos here on the island, my father was in the U.S. Navy, so I moved from the Philippines to Illinois, to Virginia, to California. I moved to California about 40 years ago, and prior to moving where I currently live in East Oakland, I lived not too far away from here at U.S. Navy housing and spent about a month or so at a 5th grade school called Woodstock Elementary. Do any of you remember that school? Did any of you go there or have children who went there? Well, it was there when I first had a class with more than one or two other Filipinos. I had never been around so many Filipinos in my life until that time. It was there where I played basketball every single recess. It was there where I also slipped from the monkey bars and fell on my face getting a bloody nose. I was wearing my good shoes that day for some reason, and because I wasn't supposed to, I was afraid that when my parents picked me up that they would be so mad at me. It was also there at Woodstock when someone first nicknamed me G. Maybe there was something about how I pronounced my name, or maybe it wasn't so common a name in the first place. Or maybe the emergence of hip hop has something to do with it, because back in those days, a lot of folks were calling other people G. Whatever the case, I'm grateful for the nickname, which has become the name that most folks know me by today. It is the name that I most identify with. But I wasn't always G. Reyes or GT Reyes. I was born Gerald Tiglau Reyes. And from the moment I was given that name, I was stamped by the violence of colonialism and US imperialism. Reyes, my last name, was part of the tainted legacy of 500 years of Spanish colonization in the Philippines. Gerald, my first name, was taken from a US president, Gerald Ford. A name that maybe my father and my mother thought could help me get accepted as a brown boy who just immigrated to the United States. I know, that sounds really heavy for a commencement speech that's supposed to be celebratory and inspirational. But I only go there to situate us all within something we have in common, that we all operate within systems of oppression that have sought to limit and subordinate us. Whether focused on race, gender, religion, disability, socioeconomics, or any intersection of those, you might have experienced those systems in very violent, harmful ways. Yet in spite of those ways, here you are, still graduating, still climbing, still getting lifted as you climb, still lifting as you climb. But I know that the road hasn't been easy. Some of you have worked multiple jobs just to get here. Some of you have children. Some of you have financial and caretaking responsibilities with family members at home. Some of you don't know where you're going to get your next meal or where you're going to sleep tonight. Some of you are still grieving the loss of a loved one. Some of you are hated, cut off, ostracized because of who you love. Some of you rarely get an opportunity for silence or to be in solitude just to read or finish your homework. Some of you have returned back to school after being gone for several years. Some of you never felt valued, seen, or heard in the schools in the first place, but here you are. I do know how it is. I also know that this can be exhausting. And at the core, these problems are symptomatic of a greater system. But for many of us, the idea of a system can seem abstract, overwhelming. We only know what we see in front of us, what we can touch, what we can hear. But there's something greater at work. Because most of the time we feel like we are alone, and that no one is going through something similar to us. Sometimes we even think that people don't care. But when this happens, when we think this way, we don't see the pattern that continues, especially for minoritized peoples. And so we think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I? Why don't I? Will I ever be good enough? See, that's a logical outcome of systems of oppression, to see oneself as inferior, to blame oneself, to blame others that might even look like and sound like us. But rarely do we ever try to address the greater system of oppression that has a hold on you, that has a hold on us. As these systems hold us in their grasp, it's likely that they want to define you, contain you. But Kendrick Lamar reminds us, what do you want from me and my scars? Everybody lacked confidence. How many times my potential was anonymous? How many times the city making me promises? So I promise this, I love myself. But in truth, loving myself is not an easy promise because of the ways that I've been taught by society and its institutions that I should do the opposite. I am taught that rather than love myself, I should hate myself. Systems of oppression would have me believe that I should hate myself because I'm incompetent, at least with work that matters. I'm a savage, in other words, a dangerous problem and a threat, that I'm broken, in other words, not fully and functionally human, that I'm lacking, that is, never enough, never beautiful enough, never smart enough, never having enough, never enough. These thoughts have been perpetuated by and perpetrated by our schools, workspaces, social circles, media, books, movies, and the every random day places that we experience in our everyday life. Regardless of the context, harm caused by systems of oppression that are inflicted over and over again is a form of abuse. The pain and trauma experienced from such psychological and psychosocial abuse is very real and affects not just our conditions and how we interact with others in those conditions, but our very sense of self. And that's caused pain, and that's impacted how we see ourselves, resulting in self-hate, shame, imposter syndrome, inferiority complexes. However, contrary to how systems such as racism or sexism or heteronormativity work, that would have us hate ourselves so that we could be kept in place, contrary to that design, we are not our trauma. We are not our pain. We are not those labels, those assumptions, those judgments, and we are not predetermined in our existence. In other words, we can directly impact not just who we be and how we be, but who and how we become. The big homie ancestor Nipsey Hussle reminds us that we're not the cause, we're the effect. We're the effect of a situation that we did not start in the first place. So then as we continue to get lifted, as we climb, as we continue to lift, as we climb, what is our radical responsibility with disrupting and dismantling these situations, these conditions that repeat in our society? I know that is an overwhelming question. And it's a lot easier to stick with the blue pill in the matrix that lets us remain complicit with the way that things are and have been. It's whatever, right? It is what it is, right? And when we think that, when we feel exhausted from life, from continuously thinking that, we wish we had a different life. Someone else's life, but not just anyone else's life. Someone whose life seems easier because of not having to experience the incessant abuse from systems of oppression like racism, like sexism, like classism. We ourselves might even find ourselves enacting the very behaviors that perpetuate racism, sexism, classism, just to fit in, just to survive, just because it is what it is. But J. Cole reminds us that it's beauty in the struggle, ugliness in the success. Here my words are listening to my signal of distress. I grew up in the city, and sometimes we had less. Compared to some of my folks down the block, man, we were blessed. And he continues to say, there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours, so love yours. J. Cole reminds us of our full humanity and that our lives are worthy of love, a humanizing, revolutionary, decolonial form of love, one with love as verb, as intention, as action, as prayer, that's grounded in helping us relearn to love ourselves outside of its dominant conception that's heteropatriarchal and that's seen as an irrational emotion. I'm talking about a revolutionary love that's rooted in a profound purpose that drives radical acts to improve not only one's conditions, but that of others. I'm talking about a humanizing love that attends to our need to feel love, to grow and heal from systems of oppression that inflict harm and sustain woundedness. Because we need to seek to work to be fully human. And so I'm talking about a decolonial love that's grounded in an analysis of the historical and ongoing violence of colonialism, but also aims for social and political transformation needed for a future world absent of systems like white supremacy, like capitalism, like patriarchy. And so we unlearn how to hate ourselves. And as the recently transitioner Bell Hooks says, we return to love. In engaging with revolutionary acts of love like this, we honor our own healing. Loving yours tells us that we cannot continue to avoid the individual, collective, ancestral, racial, and colonial pain that we've been forced to endure. This is what healer Resmaa Menakem talks about in his book, My Grandmother's Hands, that he calls dirty pain, which is when we practice avoidance, blame, denial. Dirty pain is when we respond from our most wounded parts. Dirty pain is when we create more pain, not just for ourselves, but for others. But Menakem also reminds us that healing involves discomfort. It's not easy. Through what he calls clean pain as opposed to dirty pain, clean pain is when we critically confront our pain, build our capacity to understand it, grow from it. Rather than avoiding our pain, we confront it anyway. Rather than allowing ourselves once again to be silent in the ways that we experience the abuse of systems like oppression, we say something anyway. We confront it, we work to change it anyway. So loving yours is a necessary part of revolutionary struggle. It expresses transformative solidarity in the collective journey to eradicate systems of oppression. So I have to love myself and my life. I have to love yours. And in loving myself, I'm also able to love you. You are not alone. We are not alone. And without doubt, we are worthy of love. So let us make sure that we always love yours. Thank you.
Congratulations, College of Alameda class of 2022. I welcome you, your family, and friends to this celebration of your educational accomplishment. It is my great honor and privilege to address you on this momentous occasion. As professionals committed to education, College of Alameda faculty, staff, and administrators couldn't be prouder of you and your achievements. Graduates, you have overcome varied and significant challenges to arrive at this poignant place through hard work, grit, and determination. While I rightfully commend you on your success, I also recognize and honor your family and friends that loved and supported you along your journey. Further, I thank all my COA colleagues for the encouragement, support, and guidance they provided, as well as their unwavering dedication to ensuring that you had an excellent and affirming educational experience here at the College of Alameda. I encourage you to treasure this time of celebration. Hold in your heart all those that helped to make this day possible. Highly value the knowledge, skills, and abilities that you have acquired, as well as the enhanced sense of self-worth, empowerment, and awesome potential that you now possess. As educated members of our community, I believe that you should always strive for excellence, reflect the precious attributes of compassion, generosity, inclusion, be critical thinkers, agents of liberation and positive social change. Help and support others to succeed as you have done. As you turn the page on this chapter of your life, I challenge you to continue to grow in knowledge and wisdom. Stand up for what is right, good, and virtuous, and make your COA family even prouder of you than we are today. In closing, I want to share this poem with you by Julie Coburn. Life is like a book, a chapter, a page, remembering our youth as fast as we age. Life is a song. We choose what to sing. Living is hard. What will it bring? Memories we can cherish through family and friends. Roots never broken. Love never ends. Life is a gift, so live it today. Through struggles and heartache, we still find a way. Through happiness and laughter, heartache and tears, good times and bad times, facing our fears. From mountains to stars, our atoms are one. The body may perish, but the soul lives on. Life is the love we give and receive. It defines our legacy and the mark that we leave. I wish you all the best and stay safe.
Welcome, fellow graduates of 2022, along with friends, families, and loved ones. I am thankful for this opportunity to speak amongst everyone who is attending. I would like to extend love and gratitude to the amazing faculty, counselors, and classmates who were able to help guide and support me throughout my time here, especially for the programs I am and have been a part of, EOPS and MESA. I've been provided support financially and academically, which has made me feel more confident in my education, and something that I'm forever grateful for. Being introduced to a new system and having to learn how to navigate through the portals seemed like a nightmare to me at first. I remember entering my 5-digit school ID that I've had throughout elementary school up until high school and panicking when I learned that I had to memorize a new one. These were just silly worries that I brought upon myself because I am not one for the thought of changes. Speaking of changes, a huge change had come by the end of my senior year of high school. As I graduated high school in lockdown, I was not expecting a majority of my community college experience to be behind screens. Other classmates we would have seen or talked to were soon replaced with the blank boxes on Zoom, displaying our names in white text. I'm sure we've all had our moments of feeling alone, as it was a very isolated time, and it may have seemed intimidating to reach out to others. I remember the first time I was invited to a WhatsApp group chat for a calculus class. What I had not realized in the beginning was how common it was for students to do this, and more importantly, the significance it has on our education and connections with one another. Though it was a challenge to bring the classroom environment to our homes, I'm proud of how we were able to take matters into our own hands and be the leaders to lead one another. I want to thank everyone who has made a Discord or any other means of communication. When I was too shy to take on that leadership role, others did, and I believe that the community we have grown together is wonderful. For myself, I feel as if I have grown and learned how to branch out more, being more comfortable talking to peers through the Zoom chat option, emailing others, and giving them my contact information. These are skills that I will take on with me in the future as I meet more people throughout my life. Aside from not having the one-on-one interactions with other students, our attention spans were also tested. I was tempted to fall asleep numerous of times as my bed was right behind my desk, or I found my mind wandering off to the object in the corner of my eye. Somehow we have persevered through it all. We were challenged in many other ways, but in return, we have worked harder to combat these challenges. This semester, I was finally able to experience classes in person. For nearly 2 years, I had become so accustomed to attending classes from my own personal space, and this new change caused me to think of all the things that could possibly go wrong. Leading us back to the topic of change, I had come to realize that change is good. Despite how overwhelmed I get in the moment, I've been taught how we can't be comfortable forever. Life is full of unexpected surprises and will always keep us on our toes. Our emotions may get the best of us, but in the end, we're able to adjust along with the change and find what works and doesn't work for us. We find ourselves being comfortable until something pops up out of the blue and the cycle repeats. While one solution would be to stop and give up, the more rational one would be to move along with the motions and keep going. Sometimes I need that reminder of how things will always play out in our favor, as I recognize that these tougher moments of changes result in maturity, growth, and character development. I acknowledge that we all have different experiences here at College of Alameda and other schools in the Peralta system. For me, I have not stepped foot on all 4 campuses. However, what's far more important were the people I got to meet here. I've met classmates who seem like they've lived a whole life already and connected with some on a personal level. We all have different aspirations, and whether we're taking courses to transfer, apply to a program school, get a degree, or other reasons, we all have in common our interest in enhancing our education, and I'm proud of us for that. The beauty I found while being here is how diverse it is, and despite our differences in our backgrounds, interests, career goals, or overall future goals, I'm honored to congratulate and wish graduates on our next step. Let us continue helping out and building strong connections with one another and those we have yet to meet. Congratulations, class of 2022, and good luck.
2022 Salutatorian Samantha Yan. Special Honors Jennifer Stone, 2022 President's Medallion winner.
مريم محمد عادي. هميم محمد عبد الله. اسماء صبري عبود. علي عبوس صبور.
Javier Adame. Mayra Aguilar Gonzalez.
ميشيل القطير. دينيس تيفيز أكان. فهيمة قطير. قادر ناصر البعداني. شويل بندر عليب. اسمع العودي. حاشم ناصر العزاني.
Zach L. Albers.
تيزن أحمد علي الحميد.
Destiny Alger.
شويل علي. أميمة الجميل. ليبيا الخييتي. منان العسيد. يعقوب الطرب.
Alan Alvarez Lopez.
شيماء خالد اليمين.
Mary Andrade. Marissa Marie Angulo. Alicia Angulo. Mirabel Arberton. Danielle Maria Archuleta. Luz Michelle Avalos Ramirez. Bulurtuya Bazanjab. Danny Zhangwan Bay.
بلبريت كيرب بينز.
Juan Barajas Gonzalez. Mia Bernard. Oscar Barrera.
عفاف بالشامل.
Aurora Leslie Bellarmino. Evelyn Samaira Beltran. Samuel Benton.
رشيد بيتس.
Francisco Bibiano.
رجي بوكانكول زيا.
Megan Hayes Bordeaux.
مرزوق بريمي.
Ace Boyle. Ailani Bravo. Michaela S. Brewer. Amia Ann Brizendine. Kamon Anthony Brooks. Caitlin Marie Brown. Mylene Amogis Kahembing. Guadalupe Calvillo. Iana Rayone Campbell. Angelica Denise Campbell. Karine Castrejon Pena. Nicolasa Chales Ramos, Jalen Chan, Kevin Chandrasane, Su Ching Chang, Kanlai Maria Shantavi, Christina Chow, Huyan Michelle Chen, Amanda S. Chester, Sailaja Shetri, David Chang, Caitlin Chin, Madison Sue Chin, Young Jing Choi, Emily Ming Lee Chu, Jimmy Choi, Stanley Chu, Kiet Chung, Heather Jean Church,
Kristen Collins, Matthew Corteza Cortez,
Alexandra Gabrielle Crow, Madison Croxton, Marissa Cuchon Cruz, Ron Marco Dagucon Cruz, Alejandra Cueva Becerra, Anthony Joseph Diorazi,
Diwakar Dahal,
Natalie Dang, Well Dang, Oan D. Dang, April R. Davis, Ángela Liliana de la Cruz, Edgar Allen Quillet Dieng, Jocelyn Yadel Diaz, Rosa Ángela Díaz Zamora,
Mohan Didwe, Chu Da Du, Lily Du,
Joseph Milo Dominguez, Luis Enrique Dominguez,
Mona L. Dongray, John K. Don, Moon Ledger Dunkur J,
Nadine Alana Duke,
Leslie Dong, Chris Isa, Azwa El Ajemi,
Justin Paul Escalante,
Muhammad Hisham Esmatullah,
Judas Lombardo Fagioli III,
إلياس مسعود فايز.
Jonathan Michael Farbman, Emily J. Farley, Christina Marie Fine,
Edgar Ivan Flores Martinez,
Maya Leinani Fong, Trent A. Fong, Brandon Fong,
سمية فركان. مريم فركان.
Gregory Richard Galaska, Alma Daniela Galindo, Yuen Gao, Janet Garcia, Jeffrey Y. Garcia, Anika Gardenbaum, David John Rosas Jasper, Carlo O. Gaitan Flores,
جديدة كبريوت.
Morel Jordan Pascual Galico,
أديل منصور قانم البطري. بنسن جين.
Natalie Samantha Gonzalez, Sherry Jodeci Green,
خديجة قدراري.
Elda Marisol Guillen,
صنعاء قال. منسو ها.
Craig Hamilton,
ألكسندرا سعيد الحشامي. شكر الدين عبد الله حسن. سفيان حسيني.
Charm Hazelwood,
سارة H. هشمي.
Stephen Aaron Hernandez, Eric Fermin Hernandez Galvan, Michael Anthony Hernandez Jr., Grishen P. Hestias, Thuyen Hin,
Timothy Histong. Jaden Hung. Samantha Hung.
Bridget Hodge,
وفاء أحمد حمران.
Brandon Taiki Hoyt, Yifeng Huang, Kristen Halsey, Angel Christine Hunter, Vi Huynh, Mai Hoin,
معتق أدير طارق أدير
Claire May Isola,
Rob Joseph Jober
Jennifer Jackson, Tamara T. Jacobs, Jesse Jo Luis Hasso, Brittany Hauregi,
سعيد جميل
Kathy Jenkins, Randy Jung, Mackenzie Can, Ivan Cow, Tanae Nicole Carpe,
هيلي M قاسم أمرانا رواندا كور موس وريكي كبد
Eros Karel,
دانيا كتير
Cynthia Pebbles Maiku, Jean Kim, Aaron Patrick Kindig, Mary Kirchhoff,
بلاد كلير كتيرة كتجة مارغريت مريم كونيكي
Erica Galavis Kumar, Leo Labadie, Josephine M. Lamb,
Alicia Lamson
William Lau, Brian Jang Lee, Felicia Ledette, Timothy Wing Hong Lee, Jonathan Yao Sang Lee, Daniel Lee, Yao Liang Lee, Alyssa Leva, Yi Ki Ling, Yang Ling Lee, Dan Ping Lee, Shen Li, Xander Lee, Xiai Lee, Kui Lee, Calvin Liang,
شنوار لميا
Jack Lin, Henry Liu, Jason Paul Liu, Jorge Loaiza, Priscilla Lockhart, Heidi Susana Lopez,
Melissa Liu,
Catherine Backman Lovejoy,
Shahid Hassan Dorothy Ray,
Lori Jean Lou Malero, Debbie Luong, Roger Liu, Donnell Bernard Mack, Skylar Madera, Livia Reina Madrid,
Sakina Muvid,
Huang Tuan Mai,
Morna Mendik,
Isabel Manso,
Alicia R. Martin, Alexandra Molly Martin,
Meilani Martin, Norma J. Mason, Israel Mayorga Sanchez, Nancy McClymans,
Sabina May,
Jorge Antonio Méndez, Verónica Mercado,
Feroz Masnivika,
Jane Niaguti Migwi, Jawan Darrell Mitchell,
Omar Muad,
Kenya Nicole Mollett,
Maryam Lee Najibi,
Lauren Miyuki Nakamura, Francis Narvaez, Serena Navarro,
Raymond Nelson,
Katie No, Nuguchong Thi Nguyen, Jennifer Tran Nguyen, Vivian Than Nguyen, V Nguyen, Justin T. Nguyen, Jacqueline Maria Nguyen, Harrison Nguyen, Hui Trung Nguyen, On San Ni, Megan Jerry, Pedro Ochoa Navarrete, Valeria Olmedo Jimenez, Marissa Danielle Ortega,
Masinissa Osmani.
Nari Nancy Oum. Elizabeth Palacios. Serena Pascual. Bianca Dorea Patino. Arturo Peña Arrizon. Brandon Perry.
Eric Andrew Peterson.
Vu Pham. Trang Minh Phan.
Robert Haley Platt.
Jose Maximiliano Ponsa.
Darren Deswan Prasad.
Patrick Howe Poch. Alex Ismael Ramirez. Minerva Sarai Ramirez Herrera. Kendall Lee Rasmussen. Esaú Otoniel Rauda Orellana. Roberto Reyes. Samantha Diane Reynolds. Tiana T. Richardson. Blanca Rivera. Jennifer Sauling Robertson. Jennifer Robles Aguilar. Booker Rodriguez. Carlos Rodriguez.
Brianna Rogers. Shankari Roth.
Lucero Rosales.
Velma D. Rose.
Reese Ruiz. Lisbeth Ruiz.
Ahmed Faisal Saad. Sahal Saad. Suair Saad. Sharifa Saida.
Farm Liam Seychow.
Joseph Ali Said.
Sabina Malatli Juan Ome Sanchez Vargas.
Joshua J. Sanders. C.U. Sang. Christopher Luis Santos. David Enrique B. Saraspi.
Najmuddin Suwair. Ryan Savage. Ed Sexer.
Alize Oleta Elias Scarborough. Dawn Marie Schaffner.
Farid Said. Nasmeen Sharifa Khan.
Christian Schreiner, Sangam Shrestha, Demarquis de Silimon, Ryan Silva Deasy, Gregory Alves Silveira, Nia Simmons, Illinois Scribble Rocher,
Aliyah Imani Smith, Jeffrey Smith,
Moira Sogor, Michelle Sousa Nagel, Brianna Rose St. Dennis, Jennifer Stone,
Maryam Sultan,
Xiaoming Sun, Giadi Tai, Lauren Patricia Talwar, Lawrence Tam, Pei Yi Tam Peng, Henok Tesfasilasi Tukul Mariam, Martha J. Thayes Reza, Kea L. Torres, Anthony Tran,
Ryan Tran, Curry Tran, Dustin Tran, Kalina Tran,
Doris L. Sang, Dennis Domingo Tuazon, Jose Uloa, Juan Antonio Valdez, Citlali Valenzuela, Susana Elizabeth Vargas, Miguel Ángel Vázquez, Itzail Ventura Barragán, Narlene Villarruel,
Juliana Holt Whiteside, Joey Dean Worley, Reina We Are,
Aaron Williams,
Julia Wise,
Michael A. Withers,
Justin Anthony Wong, Cillian Wong, Jessica Wu,
Bitnare Wu, Quilin Wu, Jeffrey Wu, Ella Wu, Andrew Wu, Marvin Jim Shing, Wei Cheng Zhu, Alex Li Feng Zhu,
Samantha Yang, Wesley Yi,
Matthew Ji Wan Yoon, Connie Na Yu, Zi Kong Yu, Jia Yong Yuan, Andrew Savala, Shu King Zhao, Jin Liang Zhu, Zachary Tamaru Tobasi Zimmerman, Rita Wayola Zulu,
Honored candidates of the class of 2022, by virtue of the authority granted by the state of California and by the powers vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the Peralta Community College District, I hereby confer upon you, the graduates of the class of 2022, the associate degrees and certificates certified by the Vice President of Instruction, your deans and faculty, with all the rights and privileges appertaining. Congratulations, graduates. Well done.